What's the word, peoples? It's your boy John back at you with another video. This is 10 worst one-time wrestling attires ever. Yeah, especially WrestleMania, they be wearing some real outlandish stuff, man. Like, they just be going overboard with the stuff that they be putting on, and I never understood it. I mean, it is one of the greatest shows on earth, WrestleMania, of course, but sometimes you just gotta tell these wrestlers to just stop, man. Just stop. Keep it original. But let's get into this video, see what they're talking about.
To paraphrase the greatest living philosopher of our generation, Macklemore, I wear your granddad's clothes, I look incredible. Wrestling attire is a huge part of the pomp, spectacle, and pageantry of the art form, and has been since the days of Ric Flair, Gorgeous George, all the way back to the strongman era around the turn of the century, and that's definitely still true today, from Seth Rollins' ridiculous sartorial weekly nonsense to, of course, WrestleMania season, where everyone hot glues their favorite rhinestones onto a cape and goes carnival, supervillain realness. There have been many well-dressed wrestlers, from HBK's West Side Story stripper vibe that ran throughout the entire 90s to Charlotte Flair's stunning queen looks. But let's talk about the really bad ones, the ones that were so hideous we only saw them one time, and that was one time too many. Prepare the eye bleach. I'm Adam, hailing from Partsfunknown, and here are 10 picks for the 10 worst one-off wrestling attires. And while you're here, why not slip into something more? Subscribe to Partsfunknown. It's the best thing that will go with your outfit. Number 10, Rey Mysterio, Survivor Series 2019. Ronald Mistonald Jr. bloody loves a bit of dress up. Every day is San Diego Comic-Con in the Mysterio household, because the big wrestling event simply cannot go by without Ray adapting his typical ring gear to look like a superhero, from Wolverine to Daredevil to a really bloody excellent Mysterio that would walk away with the Maxi Challenge on any episode of Drag Race. However, they can't all be winners, as indicated by his to get up for Survivor Series.
Respect to Rey Mysterio, but he another one. Why you be wearing no? That's just weird, bro. Understand the Mucha Lucha thing though. Okay, I get it, but you just be going just overboard with it, man. Slow down, man.
2019, where he was dressed as Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but oh Ray, oh no. He looked like a doink, but one of the cheap doinks that toured the budget holiday parks. The oversized red jacket made him look like he was a child trying to dress up like a grown-up in order to run away and join a cheap circus. A squashed little red nose as well. It's a 6-1 crime against fashion. Number 9, Tori, WrestleMania 15. Tori will probably be best remembered as being the third and least good part of the Kane X-Pac Tori love triangle, breaking the Big Red Machine's big red heart and kicking off a feud that lasted for a million years, where X-Pac kept winning for some unfathomable reason. However, prior to her DX years, WWE made a half-hearted attempt to push her as a single star, the peak of which was her challenging Sable for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania 15, and this is what she wore. I'm not the first to make these comparisons, but imagine if Giant Gonzalez got cast in Cats. Imagine if Thundercats was directed by a terrible pervert. Imagine if a tree, some mold, and spandex all got together and had a love child. It looked like a rotten tiger's corpse, and thankfully never appeared again. Number 8, Marty Jannetty, Royal Rumble 1993. In 1992, the Rockers infamously broke up in Brutus Beefcake's barbershop after Marty Jannetty was struck by a sudden fit of cowardice and tried to escape through the shop window. And so the stage was set for a big match between the two at WrestleMania 8, which never actually happened because Marty got arrested for drug possession and also literally fighting a policeman. However, he'd returned to WWE within the year, and finally the stage was set for a big match between the two at 93's Royal Rumble, and for some reason, Jannetty decided to mark the occasion by dressing as a doily. Why, Marty? This is a blood feud. You should be dressed in a t-shirt and jeans, not as a Nan's lampshade. HBK, in contrast, wore a beautiful gold metallic number. Guess which guy WWE thought was the biggest star? Number 7, Triple H, WrestleMania 31. I mean, we weren't getting through this without mentioning at least one Triple H WrestleMania.
Bro, that was so
we have the yearly tradition of Triple H proving that he's seen the movie we like and could absolutely beat up any one of your dads if push came to shove. In fairness, the gold mask one looked good, but Christ, Trips has dropped some clangers when trying to look his best. At SummerSlam 1999, he had an awful chainmail vest that he stole from Scott Steiner and somehow made worse. At Mania 33, did the famous leather vest and gigantic tricycle combo. The Mad Max one was also embarrassing, but all of them, Terminator takes the cake. And I use that expression fully aware that at Mania 29, he came down to the ring cosplaying as an actual cake. What more can be said about the stupid robot poncho that hasn't already been said? He looks like he got it from Smithy's. He looks like a curtain rail. He looks like the granddad of the cargo loader from Aliens. wins. Hilarious sub-panto bollocks. Number 9, Triple H SummerSlam 03. I'm not ready to stop talking about Triple H yet, please and thank you. Now this one isn't really his fault, but it is still funny. Triple H's reign of terror with the World Heavyweight Championship in the Ruthless Aggression era taught us two things: that time is a subjective construct, so a 10-minute wrestling match can stretch to the horizon, and 2, Triple H must never shave his beard again. Fat-faced Triple H, we shall never forget you. Anyway, during the reign of terror, Trips was world champ heading into SummerSlam, and only the second ever Elimination Chamber match. It probably should have been a one-on-one match between Trips and Goldberg, but Hunter had injured his groin, so a maximum competitor, minimum wrestling time stip like the Chamber was perfect for hiding the injury. Also used to hide the injury, cycling shorts. Oh no, no, no! Trunks or tights, pick a lane. Cycling shorts and no beard. It was a legit disaster and the worst Triple H has ever looked. Number 5, the Shockmaster, Clash of the Champions 24. Everyone knows the story of the Shockmaster, the worst and also best debut in the history of professional wrestling, where Sting announced that his teammate for a War Games match, let's never forget that part, would be shocking. He would be the Shockmaster, who then burst through the wall and fell on his tits. And sure, the trip is what makes it memorable, but we cannot overlook the ensemble they had decked him in. Even if he hadn't fallen, even if everything else had gone right, it would still be wrong. Borderline acid-wash jeans, a puffy shoulder robe that made him look like he was going to a disco at the fanciest courthouse in town, topped with a plastic stormtrooper's helmet that had been dipped in glitter. He looked like a thimble that moonlights as a construction lawyer, a bedazzled frog that's down on his luck because he couldn't find a shirt in the room of requirement. Doomed to fail from the very start in every conceivable way. Fun fact, WCW kept the Shockmaster gimmick, but after this one appearance, changed the look, turning him into a handyman instead. That'll fix it. Number 4, the Christmas creature, USWA. Difficult to say if this was a one-time only costume, as I can only find a single match featuring this monstrosity online. Sure, it could have stuck around for the entire 92 Christmas season in USWA, and if it did, someone did wrestling very wrong and they should not be allowed to do wrestling anymore. For a very special Christmas edition of the Tennessee-based wrestling promotions program to celebrate the Kringle season, they introduced the Christmas creature, which was all things you associate with Christmas except good. Pretty much anyone who's ever seen a wrestling list knows that the lumbering festive bugger was portrayed by Glenn Jacobs, the man who would go on to find fame as Fake Diesel. But did you know Fake Diesel's mum made this horrendous elf slash candy cane slash random bits of tinsel you find under the couch cushions in February? Thanks, Fake Diesel's mum. I hate it. Number 3, the Johnsons, TNA's first ever pay-per-view. You only get one chance to make a first impression. After being blackballed from WWE once WCW went under, Jeff Jarrett had no place to call home and decided to start his own promotion with blackjack and hookers. Total non-stop action wrestling still exists today as Impact Wrestling, and boy do they not want us to remember the early TNA years. On the first ever TNA show, which began with the entire ring breaking on the pre-show, never changed TNA, they featured the Shane twins in a tag match. However, they didn't call them the Shane twins, they called them the Johnsons and dressed them in skin suits to make them resemble giant human penises. A fantastic day at the office for all involved. The Johnsons were gone within weeks, which is a shame. What's even more of a shame is that at the time, the Shane twins were the NWA World Tag Team Champions. Giant penises. Number 2, Shawn Michaels Survivor Series 02. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, is historically one of the most flamboyantly dressed men in the history of men. From those chaps, to those caps, to his little firework gun, to those sunglasses, to those vests that were somehow made entirely of tassels. He's a sexy boy.
Respect to Shawn Michaels.
However, for some reason, at Survivor Series 02, the one and only time in the entirety of his second run he would be crowned world champion, the debut night of the Elimination Chamber, Shawn Michaels went with brown tights. Brown tights. And with a single H on the side. The tights weren't even finished. They were supposed to say HBK down the side. They just say H. And they're brown. The color of poo. He also wore knee pads and cowboy boots, but it doesn't matter what you wear, you cannot distract us from your brown ass tights. Funnily enough, he never wore these again. Just one of the biggest nights in his career. Super duper. And number 1, the artist formerly known as Goldust. All of them. How do you pick between them? Do you pick the luck?
That is the weirdest wrestler in the WWE, without a doubt. So you can't really get mad at him for what he wear because he came in the game looking like that. You can't get mad at him. This is who he is.
Green onesie with the alien robot nips and the ball gag? Do you go for the giant baby that I hate and never want to see again? Do you go for the red face with a black cross and FU written on it? Do you go for the possessed Christmas tree? Do you go for the blackface one? No, you don't go for that one. WWE would very much like you to not go for that one. In early 1998, Goldust wasn't called Goldust anymore. He was the artist formerly known as Goldust, who was managed by Luna Vachon, and his gimmick was wear the stupidest things to impart an important message about how stupid it would be to wear the stupidest thing, a gimmick Seth Rollins is currently reviving. And that's our list. Which wrestler do you think looked the stupidest that one time?
Let me say something about Seth Rollins, though. Whoever is writing the script for Seth Rollins needs to be fired. Point blank and period. Because at first, when he first came in the game, yeah, he was weird, but whoever is writing his script now got him looking, come on, man, he looks bad. Y'all need to fix that, WWE. Fix that quick. But as far as Goldust, of course he'll be number one. It's Goldust. What you expect out of him? But yeah, this was a decent video. I thought it was going to be more than just the ones that he had put in there, though. But it was a decent video. I'm going to get at y'all later. Peace.